Hey, yo, Josh, let me get a little bit of reverb. Yeah. J. Will. Yeah, I'm about that lifestyle. I talk green work, repping it all over. It's right on the t-shirt. Fan for a lifetime. Yeah, that's a long pass. Figure I would show some love right on the podcast. Turn this up loud and make sure you don't do nothing else. Cause if you're listening to us, then you're improving your health. My name is J. Will. Welcome to the show, yeah. Wrestle, flow, 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 yeah.
What's up? That's an intro. What's up, everyone? I'm in the late 90s, apparently. This is Reverb Rewind. This is Wrestling Reverb's huge Wrestlemania week. Kevin, can you feel it in the air? It's Wrestlemania week.
Oh my God, it's Wrestlemania week. I am so excited. I can't even control. I can't sit still. I can't control myself. We're so close. We are so close, Josh.
I know this is so exciting, but first, before we get into Reverb Rewind, how have you been, Kevin? We had our little bonus episode last week. We didn't really do too much about wrestling. We didn't really catch up too much. So, how have you been the last few days? How you been doing?
Been good. Just enjoying life, living the dream, as they say. How about you?
Well, I have a little bit of a problem.
Oh no.
I can't stop watching Friends. It's like crazy how much I've watched Friends in the last... I've smashed 3 seasons of Friends in 5 days.
Jesus.
I can't stop watching Friends. I'm not sleeping properly because I just want to watch Friends. I wake up early just to watch Friends. I base my meals around Friends. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm obsessed with Friends.
I think you are too, just based on basing your meals around a television show. That's kind of crazy.
But I mean, Friends is pretty good. Like, not to justify my obsession here, but it's a pretty good show, you know? I've only watched it like probably 400 times each episode, but that's not the point. It's a great show.
I don't want to say I've never seen Friends because that's wrong. I've seen plenty of episodes, but I never watched like the whole thing through or never really got too into it.
Oh my, Kevin, what are you doing with your life?
Just not my cup of tea. I don't know. It's not that it's not my cup of tea. I'd probably really like it if I got into it. I just never have.
Oh no. Oh no. You need to educate yourself and you need to watch episode 1 to all the way through it. There's 10 seasons of that show. It's
a commitment, man.
it's a good damn show. I just randomly had it on one of our streaming services here, like Netflix, is called Stan, and Stan has Friends, and I was like, I'll just watch an episode of Friends because I didn't have anything to watch. And then before you know it, that's all I've been watching, with the exception of wrestling.
Basically, I haven't like really committed myself to a TV show in a while. I don't really watch too much TV anymore. I was a huge How I Met Your Mother fan during its run.
Good show.
So that's like I'd call that my favorite show probably. Other than that, like there's not too many TV shows I really have committed myself to recently. It's really just wrestling and other sports.
Oh, see, my favorite show is, subject to what I said before, is not Friends. It's Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is my favorite show ever. I'll watch that show religiously if I have to.
You want to know something else?
Oh no.
I've seen maybe a handful of episodes of Parks and Rec.
Oh, you're breaking my heart. You are breaking my heart. I can handle you not watching Friends. I cannot handle you watching Parks and Rec. Not watching Parks and Rec.
You're not the first person to say that.
It's incredible.
For both of us. No, it's funny from what I've seen. I just, again, never really got into it.
It's my humor. If any of you people that are listening to this at some point have found me funny, please, if you haven't watched Parks and Rec, go and watch Parks and Rec. It's got lame humor and it's got clever humor. It's just a great show. It's just like, no, you don't have to think about it. It's just, Amy Poehler is magnificent. All of those people in that show are just great. Oh man, Parks and Rec. Kevin, you are just tearing me up right now. You're lucky it's WrestleMania week.
I know. I feel like I'm failing a test.
Yeah, well, you know what? You are. You're failing the friendship test here, Kevin.
Oh God.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. All right.
All right, Dad.
You have to give that show a dang big chance, because, oh my God, I would literally buy that for you. I would buy it, and I'd send it to your home.
Well, if it ever shows up, I'll be sure to let you know that I got it. Might watch it. Might let it sit.
Oh, oh my God. My heart is on my desk right now. I don't even, my heart's fallen out of my body. You just ripped it out. Oh man. Anyone that's listening to this, feel free to tweet any Parks and Rec related crap at me, because no doubt you'll become my best friend. Anyone that likes Parks and Rec is fine with me. You'll have a free pass to be my friend.
That's awfully generous of you.
I know. I'm a generous guy. You know, I'm pretty
I
damn
know.
great. Pretty damn great. So, as we steer off of that, because otherwise I'll turn from disappointed to very disappointed. Today is the start of our huge WrestleMania week. You're going to be hearing our voices many times during the duration of this week. But today we got Reverb Rewind, Kevin. What did we sit down and watch? It's of course voted by all of our wonderful, wonderful listeners. What did the listeners pick, Kevin?
That's right. We took it to Twitter. Got the pulse of the fans, what they're thinking, what they want to see us talk about, what they want to hear, and they settled on WrestleMania 17.
Ooh, yeah.
Commonly regarded as one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. So we sat down and watched it to see what the hubbub was about.
Oh man, and it was certainly a journey. It was man. Let's not waste any more time, Kev. Let's start WrestleMania 17, Reverb Rewind. What kicked us off on the show?
First matchup on this card, this 10-match card, as announced by our commentary team with Jim Ross and Paul Heyman. We started things off with Chris Jericho taking on William Regal for Jericho's Intercontinental Championship. This is a good way to start the show.
Yeah, it is. Jericho's music. There's something about that countdown and all of that kind of thing that just, I don't know, just even I sitting there, well, I genuinely forgot that this opened the show. I'm not going to lie to you. I forgot it opened the show, but just his music and his presence, it is a way to start. You know that you're in for a good night. I don't know, it's just that feeling in the air that Jericho brings. He obviously at this point he was still on his way to becoming a top star in the company, in 2001 he certainly wasn't a legend like he is now, but the foundation was definitely there.
Yeah, and it's incredible just how over he stays. Like when we watched Survivor Series '98 on was it the first edition of Reverb Rewind, I believe.
Yeah.
And he was like the crowd pop is fantastic for him, and this is 3 years later, and he still gets that huge pop from the crowd. Like, and that's what you want to open up a show, especially at WrestleMania. Oh yeah, you want to get the crowd immersed right away.
Yeah,
and they did
definitely. Before we talk about the match, the build for this match was in the promo video. It showed him Jericho pissing in William Regal's tea, which is that's certainly a way to get at someone. Piss in their tea and watch them drink it. That's pretty intense. And it also included a Chris Jericho doink cosplay, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's always nice to see Doink the Clown.
Yeah. Just the getup of Doink and
spoiler alert, it wouldn't be the last time we saw Doink on this card.
Yeah, well, it definitely. I hate to even, but yes, it's not. Jericho and Regal, two technicians of the ring, two fantastic workers. William Regal is, although everyone knows how good he is, he's so underappreciated in this business. He deserves so much more recognition than he currently gets. We know how good he is. It's said how good he is, but it really isn't appreciated how good it is. And of course, Jericho, Jericho's Chris Jericho. He's very, very good in the ring. So going into this match, not knowing, you could only imagine this match would be fantastic. I really enjoyed this match. There's not too much to really talk about during the match itself, but it was a really good foundation to lay out the rest of WrestleMania 17.
Yeah, it definitely brought a lot of different things to the table. It was a little on the shorter side, but that wasn't necessarily a bad thing.
No.
They were able to go pedal to the metal for the entire duration of the match. There wasn't really much time to rest. Two very unique styles, where Jericho is sort of like the hybrid technician, high flyer, sort of could do a little bit of everything, versus Regal's, his technician, his proficiency with submissions, and just I love William Regal. I'm sorry, I love his facial expressions. I love everything he does in the ring. I think he's just so super in everything he attempts to do. I wouldn't lie. I was rooting for him. I was rooting for him to win by some sort of trickery.
Oh yeah. William Regal is. I like to think of him as like a bit of a genius of this business. He knows exactly what to do at exactly right time within those ropes, and Jericho is pretty damn good as well. So you just mix these two and you knew that it was going to be great. And like you said, William Regal's like facial expression, the little things that make someone go from great to amazing. And that's what William Regal's really good at. And that's what Jericho, become as well. He's a mastermind of this business now. Great stuff from the two. Hey, when was the last time Chris Jericho ended a match with Alliance on? It's been a little while.
I know. I like that. I certainly can't remember a time where he ended a match with that move. Definitely not recently.
Yeah, it used to be his finish. That used to be his main finish. So, it just became more of a secondary finish later in his career. But I guess he just switched to the Walls of Jericho at some point. He had the Walls, but he just switched to that as his permanent finisher, and then later the Codebreaker. Cool stuff, though. I enjoyed this match.
Always changing, always evolving. That's Chris Jericho.
Yep.
He picks up new moves, picks up new little facets of his character as time goes on. Him and Regal both, the little things, like you said, just pitch perfect what they do. And yeah, this match was good. It was a good opener. Can't say too much negative about it. I didn't really see. There's nothing really that came to mind.
No, I didn't. I didn't notice anything. Yeah, real good stuff. Moving right along here on WrestleMania 17. What do we got next, Kev?
Okay, so next up, first we have a little backstage cut to the APA.
Oh, of course.
And the JVL or Bradshaw, whatever you want to call him at this stage of the game, just cutting like a very impassioned promo about the state of Texas. Obviously, he's a Texas native. I love the little promo he cut about all the things he used to see at the Astrodome. Ken Stabler and Bodacious the Bull. Just really, really all over the place, but at the same time, it definitely got the crowd whipped up into a frenzy because he's just dropping like Texas things left and right. And so the APA has a match. It's those two, Bradshaw, Farouk, and Taz, taking on Right to Censor.
Ooh, yeah.
Represented by Bull Buchanan, the Godfather or the Good Father, and Val Venus. I forgot how much. I mean, obviously, I wasn't watching wrestling religiously at this time because I was a little young. But I just forgot how much I hate Right to Censor's music.
Speak for yourself, Kevin. I love the Right to Censor. I thought they were amazing. The music's annoying, but I get it, and it's great.
I know it's like the point that it's supposed to be annoying, but it just drives me crazy.
It should. It probably should.
It does. It really does. This match was short. Not a lot to it. Just the brawl between six fellas. Stevie Richards got involved for a little bit. Ended with a nice clothesline from hell from Bradshaw onto Godfather. What'd you think of this match?
It was fine. Nothing wrong about it. I like seeing Jackie. I love Jacqueline. She's pretty great. Tough lady. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was anything amazing, but it certainly wasn't bad.
No, it was fine. It was kind of fillerish, but I'm never gonna turn down a chance to watch the APA. I've realized that watching some of these old shows for Reverb Rewind and also just for fun, the APA are quickly becoming one of my favorite tag teams ever. I just love the way they just beat the holy hell out of you.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. They beat their opponents up, and
they are pulling no punches, and it's great.
And of course, it's fun to see. Everyone likes to see Right to Censor get beat up, so it was a cool little spot on the show, I thought.
Yeah, it was a crowd pleaser. Everyone. If you're like me, you don't like Right to Censor, and you just want to see them get their asses beat, and that's what we got.
Yep.
Taz kind of felt. This is a little thing. Taz kind of felt like a side note in this match, which is strange.
Yeah, he did a little bit. I don't know. Taz. Okay, not to shit on anyone's Taz love, but I was never really a big Taz fan.
I haven't seen too much of him in the ring, really, because I haven't seen a lot of the old ECW stuff. And okay. I know, obviously, that's where he made his bones. But, yeah, I don't know, something like, I mean, I don't think anyone's out there saying his WWE career was that special.
His commentary career was good, I guess.
Yeah, I liked him on commentary with Michael Cole. But he didn't really do it for me, like, as an in-ring performer for his WWF time. I'm sure he was great in ECW because I'm sure he had a little bit more. They let him off the leash a little bit more, I bet.
Yeah, they did. I remember his stuff in ECW, and he was better. I think, honestly, his commentary run in WWE was way better than his in-ring run.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think I love listening to him talk, honestly. But I noticed that when I was watching the match that Taz was like supposed to be this cool, this awesome badass guy, and he was the babyface in peril for most of this short match. I thought that was a weird juxtaposition.
Yeah, no, there's not really too much more to say on this one, is there?
No, and I have a lot to say about the next one too. So we'll move on. Let me see if there's anything. I know there's definitely a chance I may have missed some early backstage segments because there was just so much going on.
Yeah, there was.
So if anything jumped out at you and I'm missing it, please point it out. I know I got more of those in there into my notes as we went on. But next up, for the Hardcore Championship, a triple threat match between Raven, the champion, and his challengers Kane and Big Show. So this shit was wild.
It is. This match itself is like the proximity of the whole show of what we think about it in one match. It's a roller coaster, this match.
It's everywhere. It's literally a tour of the backstage. They're hitting each other with, they're using garden hoses and throwing each other through plate glass windows, and it was so wild. Wild is the best way to describe it. Obviously, Raven was like a 20-sometime hardcore champion in WWF, so he knows how to play the game. But to see Kane and Big Show in there was like a nice little, they're not guys you associate with the hardcore title. So it was cool to see that. I know they had their own little stuff. From what I remember about the build to this show, Kane and Big Show, I think, were having their own little tiff. So it makes sense to get them against each other. And I didn't think I was gonna like this match. I thought I was gonna be like a negative Nancy about it and just say, oh, the hardcore title matches, the match is stupid, the title's worthless. This match wasn't. It was kind of stupid, but it was stupid in like a fun way.
I thought this match was really fun.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people, not saying you at all, you're not like this at all, but a lot of people watch wrestling and think about it too much. That is the number one problem that people have with wrestling. Just watch it for what's on your screen and just don't think about it. Don't think about the logistics of it. Don't think about the politics of it. Just watch it for what it is. That's the beauty of us going back and watching these shows from so long ago. There's no internet reports about why this match is happening or why this is or where they're going. We don't give a shit. We just get to watch it for what it is. And this match is the epitome of that for me because I'm just taking it in and watching a complete fucking car wreck. And I love it.
Yeah, that's really all. I mean, you can't come into this expecting high-class professional wrestling. This isn't going to be a technical masterpiece or a storytelling.
Purpose, is it? It's really not its purpose. It's just there to be a big spot fest, and that's what it did.
The crowd loved it, for what it's worth. I mean, the crowd, when they went into the crowd at first, the cameraman got lost because everyone was just flocking towards them because they were walking like right through the crowd, not like not like the walkways. They were in the crowd.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so cool to see how many people were just so into it and following them around and, trying to get that close to the action. You can see the security guys just physically holding people back. Trying to keep anyone from touching them, not that much to say. The plate glass window spot was crazy. Kane throwing Raven through the window, that was nuts. That's one of the things that you remember from the show. Yeah,
no, a nutty match. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was quality. The finish was pretty cool. Kane delivering a leg drop off the stage. Kane was so athletic back in the day.
Yeah, Kane was jacked, too. He was jacked.
He really was. I love the golf carts involved. I'm just looking through my notes now.
I love that, too. I had that written for this note in capital letters, just said golf cart.
That's what I did, too. Golf carts. Literally. Just golf carts. You can't have a good hardcore championship match without golf carts.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't.
You know what? Josh, you know what the one thing, though, this match could have used while we're on the subject of hardcore champions?
I know where you're going with this, but what do you think?
Gerald Briscoe.
Honestly, though, it would have made the match go from a 4-star to a 5-star.
Yeah, that's a little Easter egg for anyone listening out there who's caught our stuff before. Not going to explain it, but if you know, you know. Congratulations, that one's for you. Gerald Briscoe, baby. All right. Up next, let's see. Okay, so this is where I started keeping track of backstage segments. Because next there was one with Kurt Angle, and Edge and Christian. And Kurt Angle is just talking about, like, he's like, if the match wasn't real and the referee didn't see it, then I didn't tap out. Referring to, I believe, on Raw or SmackDown the previous week, he tapped out to Chris Benoit.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
I believe so.
Yeah. And then you get a nice little Jonathan Coachman sighting with hair, complete with hair. And he's interviewing a lovely young lady from Australia. She traveled all the way from, I believe, what did she say? I think she said Brisbane.
Yeah, it was Brisbane, yep.
And she traveled all the way to Houston, Texas to see WrestleMania. That's pretty cool. That's dedication.
Yeah. When they were talking, who was interviewing her? Was it Coach? No, it wasn't Coach. It was Coach? Okay, it was Coach.
It was Coach. It was a young Coach.
I was like waiting for it. I'm like, I don't remember this, but I'm like, that lady is from Australia. You watch her be from Australia because they want to put the people that have traveled the furthest to WrestleMania, so it looks like the whole world is there. They always pick out the Australians. I mean, we're pretty damn great. Well, at least me. When she started talking, I was like, oh dear, is that what we sound like? Because it made me cringe. I was like, oh no.
That is what you sound like.
Oh no.
But it's not a bad, I don't hate it. I like
Some people really, I think it's more so a me thing. When I hear Australians on an American television product, I cringe hard. Except with the exception of the Iconics, because they're amazing. But this lady, I was like, oh damn, and then they started doing the Aussie stuff, and I was like,
Aussie. Oi.
Look at you go,
I love
Kevin. Look at you go.
I love that.
But yeah, I was like, this lady's from Australia. You watch.
Yep, good call. And I thought, and I knew you'd enjoy that because once she said she's from Australia, I'm like, I know someone from Australia, and I happen to be recording a podcast with him later on today.
Oh, small world.
It is. It really is a small world. Alrighty, moving on from the Australian sensation. We've got Eddie Guerrero taking on Test for the European Championship. Eddie Guerrero's got Perry Saturn in his corner. What'd you think?
There wasn't a lot of substance to this match, I don't think.
Yeah, this was a little bit of a sleeper for me.
Yeah, it was just kind of in between everything else. I was waiting for other things that happened, excuse me. So it was not bad. It's the kind of recurring theme to this show. Even the stuff that was a little less stellar than everything else was not bad. There wasn't any bad on this card.
I actually disagree with that, but we'll get to it.
Okay. That's
we'll
fair.
get to it.
But yeah, this match was fine. I liked the finish.
Yeah, the finish was good. The one thing I have written down for this one is I love the spot. I don't think it was on purpose, where Tess got his foot caught in the rope and the ref was trying to get him out and couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
And like Eddie Guerrero had to actually help him get out of the ropes. I thought that was really funny.
Test
yeah, this
giant
match,
dude.
I mean,
Test is huge, and he's super athletic for a man that's nearly 7 feet tall.
Absolutely. Tess was always a little bit under the radar, underappreciated, but he was pretty good.
Yeah,
I like Tess.
And I like his song.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck it says, but
that was beautiful.
I agree. Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, overall, this match was there. It happened. It was fine. Eddie won with some help from the Radicals, from Perry Saturn, and also Dean Malenko.
Oh yeah.
And he's your new European champion. And he put on a big funny hat as he was leaving the ring. That big white hat.
Beautiful hat.
It was a nice hat. I don't know where you get a hat like that.
Man. Only Eddie.
Hey, Eddie. I'll search next time I go to the hat store. I'll search for one like that. I'll send you a picture. I'll send you a picture of me wearing it.
Please do.
Hey man, you never know.
That is true. You never know.
You never know. You never know what you can find out there. All right, we got an interview with Mick Foley backstage. Michael Cole's got Mick Foley asking him if he could be an impartial referee for the upcoming street fight between Shane McMahon and Mr. McMahon. Mick Foley says certainly he can. Then you show Stone Cold rolling into the building.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, he's main eventing the show with The Rock later that evening. And then we get to our next match, Kurt Angle taking on Chris Benoit. Straight up singles match. God, this was so good.
Yeah.
From the beginning, the amateur style wrestling to the brawling to, Kurt Angle being such a great heel. This match really had a little bit of everything, and it got it got a decent amount of time, which I really appreciated because these are two guys that if you give 15 minutes to, they're going to go out and they're going to put on a clinic, and that's what they did. They put on a clinic.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. All things aside, Chris Benoit is one of the best technical wrestlers I've ever seen. I don't think there'll anyone in my opinion, as technically sound as Chris Benoit. He was a phenomenal professional wrestler.
He really was. He was so flawless with his submissions. They both were. You don't see guys like this anymore that are that well versed in the technical aspect of wrestling with the submissions and the takedowns and all sorts of stuff like that. You don't see that anymore, and I kind of miss it. I miss guys like Angle and Benoit. Like, I miss like that type of wrestler. There are technicians out there still, sure, but in the WWE, you don't really see that style that much anymore. You see more about high octane, high flying sort of style, or just the powerhouse stuff.
Yeah, he is the fundamentals of the business in a person, if that makes any sense. But he is just an Angle. I mean, is really good as well. You put these two together, and it's a match made in heaven.
Absolutely, a match that we've seen before, we'd see again, but it never gets old seeing these two in the ring together.
Yeah,
the only thing that would have helped was a title belt. Honestly, like this was just like I said, a straight up singles match. Wasn't a title match. That probably would have helped it, but it still felt like it had stakes just because the two guys were so evenly matched.
Yeah, true. It almost, to the point where it's so good, it almost didn't need it, if that makes kind of what I'm...
It does.
Yeah. But, just, it is really hard to put into words. Just a really good bell-to-bell wrestling match.
Yeah. Not much more you could ask for, too. You send two guys out there like that, you're going to get bell-to-bell a good wrestling match. It's what they do. It's in their DNA.
I enjoyed the finish, too.
Yeah, it was a good heel finish. Kurt Angle using the tights, getting the roll up. To me, a finish like that says we're so evenly matched that you can't beat your opponent clean, so you have to resort to a finish like that.
Yeah.
I always love that little storytelling aspect to wrestling.
Yeah, and another thing is that I've harped on this many times, I think in our Reverb Rewinds and just in general. The commentators picked up on the fact that Kurt Angle is cheating, as they should. Sometimes it's ignored, I feel. Yeah,
well, because a lot of time, you're basically heels cheat to win every time. You want to see a heel cheat to win most every time.
They should.
They don't, but I feel like they should, and I feel like the announce team doesn't always catch that, or they do, and they don't make a big deal of it, and that's wrong because it is a big deal. You're cheating.
Yeah, exactly.
Uphold the ethics of the sport. God damn it.
Still real to me, damn it.
Still real to me. Oh, God love that guy.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Anything else on this one?
No.
Anything you want to get in there?
Kind of summed it up pretty nicely.
Yeah, we're moving right along here. Next up, for the WWF Women's Championship, Chyna taking on Ivory, which means I have to hear Right to Censor's music again.
Yay!
Which made me mad.
Oh, that sounded like Kill Bill. I don't know what that was.
Yeah. Oh, and even before we got to the women's match, there was an interview with Kurt Angle backstage. I did forget. Interview with Kurt Angle backstage where Benoit basically jumps him and actually makes him tap out. So you get that. You get, in the end, you get the tap out that we were all looking for. But you make Kurt Angle look good by picking up the win. It benefits everybody. Both sides gain from it. And that's just a really good pro wrestling segment when everyone wins.
Yeah.
Back to Chyna and I. What'd you say?
I couldn't agree more.
Oh, all right. Thanks for the ringing endorsement.
No worries.
Yeah, so we got Chyna taking on Ivory for the women's championship. Chyna comes out with a firework gun. Awesome. Awesome.
Chyna's over. Like,
this
woman, that place went nuts when her music hit. I was kind of looking, like, at the screen, because I've seen this match before, and I was like, okay, it's a, quick little match. But when Chyna's music hit, they went nuts.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It makes sense. I mean, she was...
Oh, I mean, yeah.
She was Chyna. She was the ninth wonder of the world. She was that good. And I know that she had. I know at the Royal Rumble she in storyline had injured her neck. So
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know how long it had been since they had actually seen her perform. I don't know if she was wrestling in the interim between Rumble and Mania.
I think from memory and from what I can kind of guess, I think she only had wrestled because she was wrestling dudes, right up until this feud. She was, Intercontinental champion, and then she was still wrestling dudes. This was her first feud for the women's championship in her whole career. I know that she wrestled right up until the Rumble, and then that injury storyline happened. And then I think she was not taken off of TV, but taken out of the ring in storyline. I remember interview segments with Jim Ross, and she was wearing a neck brace. But then I remember Ivory defending against other people, and China running in through the crowd, and still trying to find ways. And then before she come back, she signed the hold harmless agreement to be like, I can wrestle, I know I'm injured, but there's nothing that I can do about it if I get more hurt with the company. That's what I remember.
Yeah, that sums it up basically. So yeah, the crowd was just happy to see her. Happy to see her in the ring. She looked great. Obviously, this was very much a one-sided contest.
Yeah,
but,
it was, but I think Ivory hit about 3 moves on the... I did notice something. I did notice something at the very start. When Ivory hit her with the title, I believe, and then was just like wowing on her in the back of her neck, China was not selling that at all.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. And I knew that once China decided she wanted to take control, she was going to take control.
Yeah.
So...
There's not much about this match. It was just a way to get China the championship and have a cool little spot with the big military press. You know what? I don't care. You may agree and may not, but I think this match did what it did. And if, at the time, Ivory was just being a, horrible heel, and we just wanted to see the babyface smash the heel. Sometimes that happens.
Just want to see that stupid music get shut off.
Oh, I do not agree with you, my friend. I'll have that might be the new intro for Wrestling Reverb.
My God,
imagine that.
I can't in good faith sign off on that. Please don't do it.
Don't tempt me, Kevin. Watch Parks and Rec, Kevin, and then we'll talk about it.
I shouldn't have said anything. I knew once you mentioned Friends, I was like, should I say something or no? Should I just let it go? But I had to open my mouth, and now we're here. So, talk about a rewind. We're rewinding back to the very beginning of the show.
Oh,
anyway,
man. That was a nice little pun.
Yeah, let's get the train back on the tracks, though. Because China wins. Just basically just smoked Ivory. Nothing to it. What she beat her with? She beat her with a military press.
Yeah, she did.
Because she powerbombed her, then picked her up before the ref could count 3, which I liked. Just showing your dominance.
Yeah. Before we move on there, Kevin, I do have to say one thing. Can you hear that, Kevin?
Oh my God. I can't. It's not even music. It's just literally someone's alarm. It's a car alarm.
It's just noise, and I love it. Anyway, before I so rudely censored you, Kevin, move on.
Yeah, I will not be censored. You do not have the right to censor.
I have the right to censor, mate.
Anyway, next up card on the WrestleMania 17 card, because that's what we're doing here.
Hey, they were a part of WrestleMania. I have the right to censor WrestleMania 17.
Okay. Next up, we had the street fight. Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon. With Steph at ringside, with Trish and Linda McMahon at ringside.
Eventually.
Okay. So when I referenced before that you said there wasn't anything bad on the show, and I said I disagree, this is what I was talking about.
We're going to have an argument about this one, Kevin. Oh, boy. You go first.
Storyline.
You take it.
I hated it.
Ah.
I think it's so uncomfortable. This whole thing. I just thought it was silly. And this match was just literally like 2 moves from Shane, a whole lot of lying around, and a whole lot of shenanigans with Stephanie and with Trish and Vince and Linda. And it just all was just so dumb. So dumb.
I like this story because it's the Attitude Era. It is a very unconventional time. I like when things aren't politically correct. I'm all for it. Make the joke that no one wants to make. Do the story that no one wants to do. Yes, he drugged his wife. Yes, she was sedated. Yes, he made Trish bark like a dog and kissed Trish in front of Linda and all of that other crap. I enjoyed it. This is what wrestling is to me, just enjoying it for what it is. I understand if you don't like it. It's an intense storyline. It's very out there. But it led to a fantastic moment when Linda got up and kicked Mr. McMahon and his family jewels. That crowd went nuts. That crowd went nuts. And you can't deny it.
No, I know I'm definitely in the minority because the fans love this shit. They really ate this stuff up. And I want to go on record. I don't hate the story because it's like inappropriate, because it's politically incorrect. I just thought it was stupid.
That's fair. I get it.
I just didn't like it. Yeah, it made me uncomfortable, but like I don't really mind that necessarily. I don't mind when wrestling makes me a little bit uncomfortable if it's within the bounds of a good story. I just didn't think this. I just thought this was the McMahon shenanigans have never really been my cup of tea when it's like in the family fighting like this.
Yeah,
I don't mind watching the McMahons fight, but I'd rather watch them fight other people. Like I prefer Mr. McMahon when he fought Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, when he fought Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. I prefer both of those because I just don't want to watch family fighting for no reason, really.
I understand. Agree to disagree, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fine because we agree on a lot of stuff. So I always like when we disagree because it leads to more interesting conversation.
Me too, Kevin. But guess what? I enjoyed this match for what it was. I thought the Linda stuff when she got up was fun. Foley did a great job at being the referee. Beautiful coast to coast to finish it off, and we're on our way. Oh, it was a good coast.
Definitely a good finish. And yeah, like Shane hit his 2 moves, and that was that. That's what that amounts to for me. Shane hit his 2 moves and won.
Yeah,
that's okay though.
Hey, you look at that match and you know it's not going to be a wrestling classic.
No, obviously not. I just there were good like street fight spots. You know, the trash cans he was decent. Shane was wailing on Mr. McMahon with the kendo stick.
Oh yeah, he was
good shots.
Damn,
didn't do it for me though.
And a cool little Trish spot where she smacked Vince in the face and chased Stephanie away. It served its purpose. It did what it did, and it just led into the WCW ECW invasion, and that's a whole nother topic.
It's true, yeah. It led to a higher story. It led to a higher purpose. So I can't really knock it too much, even though I didn't like the road they took to get there.
Oh, I didn't even really like the invasion storyline. It was underwhelming.
No, a lot of people didn't. I'm not even like huge in the know on that story. Like, I have to go back and watch some of that stuff.
Yeah,
I've seen the winner take all match at Survivor Series plenty of times, and I liked it.
Oh yeah, it's not that the matches were bad. It's just that the star quality was a bit lackluster.
Yeah, and I think I've talked about this on another show. Just how WCW basically didn't have a bunch of their stars because of contract disputes and injuries, and also WWF didn't have some guys too. So it was tough.
But that's another issue for another day. Anything else you want to add on the McMahon rivalry match thingo?
I thought it was funny that Vince and Shane, for hating each other as much as they do, came out to the same entrance music.
They got no chance.
Yeah. I didn't even realize Shane. I don't know when Shane got his entrance music. But Here Comes the Money. I don't know. I didn't even notice.
I actually thought Shane come out to this.
Huh.
That's what I heard anyway. But never mind.
High quality comedy on Reverb Rewind. We don't just. We're well versed.
That's me, beach.
We're well versed. But you know what? We go from a match that I didn't like to a match that I and just about everybody positively loved.
Oh yes.
TLC 2. Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys. A lot of boys. A lot of boys in this match.
There's a lot of boys.
A lot of boys. 4 boys. Five boys, really, if you count Spike. Spike Dudley makes a run-in. Spoiler alert.
That's true.
This match was just all over the place. Bananas. High spots galore.
Man, this dang match. I've probably watched this match, I'm not even kidding, 20, 30 times. And it's still amazing to me every single time. The stuff that they do in this match, if it still holds up now, then you've done your job. This will be a match that will never not love. It'll never not hold up. Yeah. It's just a different time in WWE. It is very different because a lot of those spots that they did, I don't think necessarily would happen in that capacity now. A lot of chair shots to the head and stuff like that just doesn't happen anymore. This was I mean this in a very positive way, an absolute car crash. Tables, ladders, chairs, oh my. Just so much going on. There was never a dull moment. You had run-ins from, like you said, Spike and Rhino and Lita. That chair shot that Lita hit Spike with makes me cringe every single time. She drills Spike on the top of the head and that chair just bends in. They give it
you can see it almost unfolds.
Yeah, it is nasty, that spot. I mean, I know what you're probably going to say, but if you had to pick one spot from this match that you're just like in awe of every time, is it the spear spot?
Yeah, it's the spear spot. Yeah. That's something that it just blows my mind that happened. That was so, and it was so well done. That's a spot where a lot could go wrong.
Yeah,
and
if Jeff just over-rotated the slightest, he'd have a broken neck. Man, that takes a lot of balls to do that spot.
It does. That's Jeff Hardy, though, and Edge. And all of them.
Man, these
guys did violence before it became cool. These guys were nailing these spots. Even some of the more pedestrian spots in the match were crazy. Like when Rhino gored Matt Hardy through the table.
Matt folded. Matt went into the turnbuckle.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff in this match. Not just, and I'll always gasp when I see Matt Hardy and Bubba Ray going off the top of the ladder through all the tables.
Yeah.
That's another one that could go really wrong. And
yes, it could.
Luckily that panned out for him.
Jeff, when the only spot that didn't work was when Jeff does the walkie thing over the ladders and all the ladders just fall.
And the last one gives out on him.
And it's like, damn, that's the only spot that he's had in his brain that just did not work. And that's the thing with these matches. They're so high octane, so high risk. These ladders are real ladders, and if you stand on top of the ladder, it wobbles. Anyone who's climbed a ladder knows that when you get higher on those rungs, it wobbles like crazy. You have to find your balance. And doing that 3 times over, walking the plank, if you will, of ladders, it doesn't work 99% of the time, and this was just one of the times it didn't work. But man, it's hard to really comprehend what they put their bodies through, because that wouldn't tickle, and it wouldn't feel too great the next day. sure they
Like,
would all be in a little bit of pain.
Yeah, like imagine if, Hardy's walking across those ladders and he falls. He's not falling onto a bed of pillows. He's falling onto the mat and likely falling, if the ladder capsizes underneath him, he's probably falling onto the ladder, which is going to hurt like hell.
Oh, yeah. It's, man, it's just a really, really, really good match.
Absolutely. One of the WrestleMania classics for good reason.
Yeah. It's so hard to, like, get in my mind that all of this happened on the same show.
I know that we still have like 3 more matches, and 2 of them are pretty high profile. Like, we got a lot of action on this show. It's a big card.
Yeah, it's huge. It's a monstrous card.
Big card. This is like almost a 4-hour show. People complain. It's crazy. This is like a 4-hour show almost, and that might be like half of what we get at this year's WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
not complaining. Not complaining. More wrestling for me, man.
Yeah, honestly, I'm the same.
All right, so next up, you had the gimmick battle royal. This was so dumb. And I mean that partially in a good way. And like, it wasn't even that much fun. It was just a very short battle royal where we had to see a bunch of weird gimmicks that no one really cared about.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
it was just a calm down spot from the TLC.
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
It's sort of in a way like it encapsulates what WrestleMania is. Just wacky and extravaganza. Just all these ridiculous things happening. Like, that's WrestleMania in a nutshell. And this match kind of summed it up. You had the Bushwhackers. You had Doink. Told you he was coming up again. You have Jim Cornette coming out with the tennis racket. Nikolai Volkov, they dug him up. Earthquake, Tugboat. Michael Hayes coming out with the Confederate flag on, which is bad. Very bad. Definitely not something you get away with in the year 2019.
I mean, no, you wouldn't.
No, that's the beauty of 2001.
Yeah, people weren't offended by absolutely everything.
Yeah. So, the Iron Sheik ended up winning. He last eliminated Hillbilly Jim. Love Hillbilly Jim. Love the Iron Sheik, too. I mean, it was there to cool the crowd down because they just had the white hot TLC match.
Yeah.
I feel like
and it was a throwback match. Let's be honest. It was just, It was literally gimmicks.
Like, on one hand, I'm like, I wish they did something different. And on the other hand, I'm like, this is exactly what they needed to do. We haven't seen anything quite like this. We've seen, like, Battle Royals at WrestleMania, clearly, but a gimmick Battle Royal like this with just a bunch of randos, I really, it's an interesting idea.
Yeah. It really
You think we'll ever see it again?
Maybe not in that... who knows? It's hard to say. I don't think so.
Probably for the best. Anywho, following that, how could you follow that? How could you follow the gimmick battle royal? These two men had to try. They had to try. Before one thing, actually, before we step away from the battle royal, I did like how they had Gene Okerlund and Bobby Heenan on commentary, and I missed them.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean. Bobby Heenan I love. Always have. Especially from someone who's not from my era.
Yeah. They're both fantastic. I love both of them.
Yeah.
Both were terrific. Both missed, definitely. But it was just cool to see them. And I believe that was probably, since they were WCW guys for the duration of that. So it was cool to see them back in the WWF.
Yeah.
Okay, now we can move on to Undertaker taking on Triple H. What'd you think of this? Because I really liked it.
Yeah, especially knowing what we do now. This was the first of 3 WrestleMania matches for these two. But, I enjoyed how this match flowed. I enjoyed the length of this match. It felt big. It was big. I don't really have much else to say than that it was really dang good.
It's crazy to think about because this is the first of a trilogy, and this often gets forgotten. When people talk about Undertaker Triple H, it's 27 and 28. But this was really good, too. This stands up. Maybe not right up there with them, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely a slept-on match.
Oh, yeah. People don't talk about this match enough, to be honest with you.
No, it's definitely one of my favorites in the streak, I'd say. Besides, obviously Taker hit a run in the 2000s where he was delivering a classic on every WrestleMania. And so the older matches like this one, like Taker Flair, I believe the next year's WrestleMania, they get left behind because of how good Taker's matches would get. But these were good in their own right too, and this one was damn good.
Yeah, I just really enjoyed this match. There was so many when they went out into the into like the crowd area bit. I don't know. It's just man, I just really enjoyed this match.
Yeah. Nothing really to say. Just a great near fall when Triple H hit Taker with the sledgehammer. If I didn't know what had happened, I would have genuinely believed that could have been the end of the match, which is good.
Yeah,
that's how you want to do it. But obviously, Undertaker gets the win, keeps the streak alive. They only mentioned it. I know they it didn't become like a focal point for a while. They did mention it at the beginning of the match, so that Undertaker was 8-0 at WrestleMania, went to be 9-0 for this.
Because the streak was what I don't really remember being like the streak so much being like a massive deal until a bit later.
Yeah, I believe the first time anyone challenged Undertaker with the intent to end the streak, I believe was Randy Orton.
I can't remember a time. I remember them mentioning it, like here, but I don't. Yeah, like you said, I don't remember anyone like going like, "I'm gonna break the streak."
Yeah.
Until Orton, we could be wrong.
This was a match just because Triple H had said he'd beaten everyone there is to beat, hadn't beaten the Dead Man. That was the crux of this match. Just a simple storyline, nothing with the streak. It's interesting to look at Undertaker before the streak became such a big deal, because it's basically like his baby now. It's like a part of him.
It's a part of the mystique of the Undertaker. Yeah, really, really, really good stuff. Both men in their prime. Both men with a lot more to give to the business, even though they had given so much at that point. Just really, really cool stuff. Yeah.
And from that, we get to the main event of the evening. God, this just feels cool. Just saying this out loud is insane. We had Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on The Rock for the WWF Championship in a no disqualification match. That just screams star power. It's crazy. We had two guys at the same time in the prime of their careers that could main event Mania, not once, not twice, but 3 times overall. This was time number 2, and they absolutely knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, and it is this match, not only the match itself, but one of the coolest video packages WWE have ever made. This time is my way. My way.
My way. My way.
There you go, Kevin. You got it. Limp Bizkit. That song I absolutely love. I have that on in playlists in Spotify, and whenever that song comes up, I'm just like, oh man. And I've just seen so many people remake promos with that song, and I think it's just that song just makes things better. I don't love Limp Bizkit, but that song is absolutely incredible. And it's just so nostalgic. It's just so Rock Austin. Like, yeah. To me, the time that I grew up in, and you know, a lot of people will agree with me, some people won't, but they are the 2 biggest stars of this business at the same time. The fact that they were together at the same time is pretty damn special, and hey, this is the second of 3 WrestleManias that they have matches in, and I mean, this one is regarded as the best, and it's hard not to agree with that.
This match had a little bit of everything. They were in the crowd. There was some good technical stuff with the sharpshooters. Finisher stealing, which I always love because it feels so important, especially with these two guys. When you see Rock nailing Stone Cold with a stunner, or Stone Cold lock in a sharpshooter, or hitting him with a rock bottom, they really pulled out all the stops to try to win this match. They really made the story be that Stone Cold needed to win, like he absolutely had to win, and they told that story in the ring really well.
Yeah, they back and forth and just. Were you more of a Rock or more of an Austin kind of guy?
Man, that's tough because I grew up with their action figures. I think I always lean Stone Cold though.
I'm saying it out loud. I don't know.
It's tough.
I think I'm the same. I think I'm Austin.
It's tough. I love them both. They're both so fantastic.
I just think Austin, although I don't know. It's hard to say.
It's the age-old question.
It is. I think I'll lock it in, Austin. I just thought he did a little bit more for the company. I think. Something about
Austin just resonated with me a little bit more. A little bit more badass than The Rock. A little bit different character. Well, definitely different character, but a little bit more like a little bit more of like a wrestling character. I thought Stone Cold was.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Man, 2 icons though, 2 legends.
Yeah, on a level of which we may never see again. Honestly,
not at the same time, at least.
No, that's crazy. Just two people with that level of star power at the same damn time. I don't think you'll ever see that again. That is just the right place, right time for professional wrestling.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The match itself was really fun. Obviously, we'll talk about the finish because a lot of people have their opinions on that. Now, Kevin, I know you weren't watching, religiously at the time. I was young. I briefly remember this as like in my, child years, but was it the right call? Should Vince have aligned with Austin? Because a lot of people think it was a pretty dark day in wrestling in terms of storylines.
Well, it was certainly a dark day and certainly a controversial decision. I just don't think that the crowd was gonna, and I don't really, again, just because I wasn't watching, like I don't know exactly how it played out. I don't think Stone Cold was gonna get boos no matter what.
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't have done it, honestly. But what I definitely wouldn't have done, the way they did it was kind of not anticlimactic, but they had him interfere, and then it wasn't the end of the match. So like the gig was up. Like Vince was helping Stone Cold, but the match wasn't over. And the match went for the end of the match was outstanding. I just would have done it a little bit differently with Vince. I would have had him just his interference be the end of the match. I think it would have been more of like a one-time sort of like holy shit moment, rather than everyone sort of slowly realizing what was going on and still watching and still wondering what Vince was doing.
Yeah. I think some of Austin's best work came when he was a heel. And, the comedy stuff that he was doing and his stuff with the Alliance. I actually really enjoyed that. But in retrospect, hey, would I have done that? I don't think so. I think it was probably the wrong move. It still regarded in my mind as a very big moment in wrestling. That to me is the end of the Attitude Era. That moment.
Yep.
It starts to steer in a different direction. Of course, it's still very similar content, but it's just that era is done. At that point, when they align, that to me is the end.
This felt like the changing of the times a little bit.
Yeah, it really did. it was just that it was time to be honest, it was time to end that period in the business, because it run its course. It would have become a bad version of the Attitude Era if it continued in that exact capacity, in my opinion. It was time to move on, and they needed to try some other things. WCW was gone. The competition was gone, so they could start to veer out and not rely on that kind of content all the time. Of course, it still was a thing. I'm not saying the content completely changed and they, stopped going for that edgy kind of deal. That wasn't the case at all. It just was a different... It felt different after that. You end Mr. McMahon and Austin once and for all in that moment, at that time. You end that kind of attitude feel. It's not a necessarily bad thing. All good things must come to an end, but in retrospect, probably wouldn't have done it like that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It was a little odd, after all Stone Cold and Vince had been through, to see them align. I like the shock factor of it, but I don't think it really had its intended purpose.
Yeah, I don't know either. The shock, like you said, was cool, but I mean, that's a very debatable issue, because I've had conversations with people where they thought it was perfect. I've had conversations with people where they thought it was the crappiest thing that's ever happened. So, who knows?
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's one for the ages.
Oh yeah,
people are always going to talk about it. This was really like a pinnacle moment for the business, though.
Yeah,
Stone Cold and the Ride at the height of their powers, and this really was like a watershed moment for the industry.
Yeah, it really was. As we kind of end out WrestleMania 17, it's hard not to say this, but what a damn show! What a show!
Yeah, really, this top to bottom, very good show. There was not a lot to dislike. Maybe me more so than most people. Honestly, had some stuff to dislike, but even still, you can't argue with TLC 2. You can't argue with Stone Cold The Rock. Angle Benoit was great. Jericho Regal was good. Kane Raven Big Show was good. Everything was enjoyable. There was a lot of enjoyable content.
Yeah, it's not my personal favorite WrestleMania, but it probably is the best WrestleMania.
Yeah, you could definitely... It's definitely got the strongest case, I think.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but it's hard to argue with a lot of it.
I really, really, really appreciate the quality of this card. Later on in this week, we're going to talk about our best and favorite and best moments. Just a whole WrestleMania shing-ding later on in the week. But we'll definitely probably be bringing up WrestleMania 17 in that conversation at some point, because it is really, really good. As we kind of end out the Reverb Rewind portion of this episode, how did you feel about doing this for Reverb Rewind? Because this was probably the best, or the favorite one out of the now 4 that we've done.
Yeah, this definitely had the most upside to it, just because it was the best show we were going to be doing. We had done Survivor Series, a Raw from 2000, and TakeOver Brooklyn, which was also really good. But this one had the most meat on the bone, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it really did. And it was cool to go back and watch this to kick off our WrestleMania week, because that put me in the mood for WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
Mania is here.
We could have watched WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 7, WrestleMania 7000, and I still would have been the same thing, because once it opens up on that crowd, and you see it was 67,000 people there, and you see all those people just amped up for the match, and you see the fireworks go off, you hear the music hit. It just has such a different feel to it than a random episode of Raw or any other regular pay-per-view. It's WrestleMania. It's different. It's so much bigger. And we're here now.
Yeah.
We're doing it again.
Yeah, and I've mentioned this before, but Kev, of course, I have the week off of work. I have the whole week just to sit around and watch WrestleManias. That is my plan for this week. I'm getting myself amped up. I've got a WrestleMania plan for as soon as we finish recording today. I'm going to watch WrestleMania 22 today. Or 24.
Ooh, okay.
22 or 24. I've got it already on the network. I'm ready to go. I'm gearing up. I'm gonna enjoy my week off. I'm growing a beard. I'm becoming a man. This is just a big week for Josh. Big week.
Big for Josh.
Um,
Good stuff.
Yeah, so that is my kind of week. I do have something else planned for today. We've got a little new segment coming up on the show that I'm going to put into as many episodes as I see fit. I have taken notice as of late, in the last few weeks, about sometimes the American folk that I talk to sometimes have no fucking clue what I'm talking about, because Australians will understand this. So there's some things that only Australians know. And listen, this isn't wrestling related, I understand, but I also don't give a shit. I have got this new little segment planned I like to call Kevin versus Australia.
Australia, mate. Good day. Good day, Cobber.
What a name.
So-
That's for those of you listening, that's the first time I heard the name of the segment. And oh god, it's definitely gonna be a battle.
So, Kevin, every week, every episode, like I said, whenever the friggin' hell I see it fit, I'm going to give you a term, a food, a singer, an actor, a show, something Australian related. And you have got to give me the first kind of thing that comes to your mind of what the hell you think it is. And I'll say if you're wrong or right. You're representing the United States of America here. Can you live up to the task?
Oh man, that's a lot of pressure. I am up for it. I will represent America proudly.
Alrighty, Kevin. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Kevin, what is a shoey?
Oh fuck. A shoey. Is it? I don't want to be wrong, but I have no clue.
Just give me your first thing.
I think it's shoe, and I think it's shoey. Is it a shoe?
Well, it has to do with a shoe. So a shoey, Kevin, is an Australian pastime. It is an Australian tradition. It's an Australian legacy. You put your alcohol into a shoe and you drink out of it when out at a club, at a pub, at a friend's house. You drink alcohol out of your shoe as fast as you can. That is a shoey.
Huh.
It's a thing.
So people do that in America. Like people drink out of the boots and stuff. I never knew what the name was. I think we just call it like a boot.
It's a shoey.
I don't-
It's a shoey, mate. It's a shoey in Australia.
Well, I'm 0 for 1 on Kevin versus Australia. Not a great start.
Australia's leading the pack to here. But that is a shoey. So for anyone in any other parts of the world that doesn't know what a shoey is, I've done it. It is, it's generally when you're quite drunk and your feet are generally quite sweaty and pretty grotty. But, hey, that's Australia for you, mate.
Yeah, you're not gonna catch me drinking beer out of a shoe anytime soon.
Oh,
I love beer. I love beer, just in a glass.
Hey, I'll drink. Hey, I've had cider out of a shoe. I've done shoeys with beer. I've done shoeys with wine. I'm down for a shoey anytime. It's like you're just out. Say you're at a club. Say you're at a pub, and you just turn to your left, and your old mate over here's doing a shoey. Turn to the right. Another one's doing a shoey. No one bats an eye to it. It's a thing. I've had bartenders recommend doing it with a shoey. So that's just an Australian kind of deal. I'm glad now I've enlightened you with a shoey.
Yeah, I feel so much smarter now.
I'm hoping my plan here is to enlighten the rest of the world. And then when people talk to me, say, in our Brainbuster family, which starts this week, by the way, shameless plug, say in our Brainbuster family that don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, they do now. They know what a shoey is. I can now bring up a shoey, and I can talk to you about shoeies. So next time I have a shoey, Kevin, I have you on Snapchat. I'll make sure someone records it, and you can see your very own Josh doing a shoey.
I've always wanted to see that. I just didn't realize it till right now.
Hey, it's going to be a thing that I will definitely have recorded and show you. Kevin's
I'd love
getting
to see
a shoey.
I'd love to see you doing a shoey.
So that is a new little segment. I hope you guys enjoyed that, Kevin. I hope I gave you a nice little lesson in Australia just there. I've got so many planned. You don't even understand. And Australia's 1-0 against you, mate. So no pressure.
I'm gonna have to pick up the slack then. I gotta win at least one. I'm starting my goals off small. Let's get one right. Then we'll worry about putting on a streak.
Hey, the streak has started. I'm just putting it out there.
I have a feeling Australia is gonna go 21-0.
Imagine that day, that episode where the streak may come to an end, Kevin.
People will be shocked.
And just to let everyone know, me and Kevin did discuss this before, he has vowed not to cheat. He's not looking anything up on his phone. He's not doing anything. I trust Kevin that he will not cheat.
You're going to know I'm not cheating when I get everyone wrong. Like,
I love the fact that we're almost in two different universes.
yeah, it's like two different worlds.
Hey, you know one thing about Australia now, and that's shoeies. So, get ready for next time. Prepare on your Australian knowledge, Kevin, because it's time you learn.
Well, that's how I'm going to learn, is I listen to this show. So that's a good reason for anybody out there to keep listening to Reverb.
Hey, yeah.
That you learn this too.
Yeah, and not to bring the mood down at all, Kev, but I'd be very it would be very silly of me not to bring up the fact that we have received nothing but love and support for last week's bonus episode. It was... I didn't expect the reaction that it got, to be honest with you. I was a little overwhelmed. I know that it was something that I wanted to do, and you just kind of chimed in with what you felt was necessary and stuff like that. But again, thank you for agreeing to do that and being open and honest with your issues, and a very non-judgmental space with my stuff, and just to everyone that took the chance to listen and give their comments, especially to all our Brainbuster family. They were nothing but beautiful towards it. So I do really appreciate that. And I think we're going to, well, at least I'm in my head planning to do a little bit more on that kind of topic, because I feel like there's a little bit left unsaid. And also, it genuinely opened up a lot of people to talk about their issues, which is what my intention was. It wasn't for the sob story. It wasn't for the, oh my God, thank you. It was just nothing else to not steer away from these issues, because they're important. And especially, I'm not saying it's easier for women than for men, but there is a big stigma against mental health in men. And for me, I have no shame in my game, so I'll happily talk about it. So, not to bring the mood down after that great shoey conversation, but thank you to everybody. I think I can speak for both of us when I say that, Kevin.
Absolutely. The love, support, feedback we got for that episode was amazing. I love everyone out there. That's like, I love hearing from people. I love hearing what people have to say. I've always been open about my own issues, and I hope that through us, other people will be able to sort of find their own strength and find their own courage to bring these issues to light.
Yeah, definitely. But on that note, what else have we got coming up WrestleMania week for us? On Wednesday, now these are in Aussie time, so you might get them on depending where you are in the world, it might be Tuesday night or it might be whatever. But on Wednesday, it's going to be our best WrestleManias. We're going to talk our best WrestleMania moments, matches, cards, everything WrestleMania. Me and Kevin are going to give you the ultimate rundown of what we love about WrestleMania. Then on Friday, it's our I hate using this word, but it's our crown jewel of the week. It is our... Not in that sense. You know what I mean. It is our Brainbuster debut. We are so pumped to record this for you guys. That'll be out Friday in America land and in Australian land. It's Friday everywhere. It'll be released Friday afternoon for me. I believe it comes out at midnight or 1 a.m. for you guys in the US, and it's nighttime in the UK. So you'll get it on Friday, our Brainbuster debut. Make sure you go and subscribe to Brainbuster if you haven't already, because it kicks off. Well, we're only a few hours away from it kicking off with Omega Luke, and he's the king of fantasy booking. So make sure you check out everyone on Brainbuster this week. Our debut on Friday, we're going to give you our WrestleMania predictions. They're going to be interesting. I feel like me and Kevin are going to have a very difficult time predicting some of these matches this year because, hey, there's a lot, but some of these matches don't have a hell of a lot of substance. But, hey, that's what WrestleMania predictions are all about. And, Kevin, we're gonna turn our competitive side up because I'm gonna take note of what we talk about and what we predict this week. And, on our WrestleMania recap show that we do, we're going to see who wins, because
little incentive. I like it.
It's just us two this week for our WrestleMania predictions. So everyone make sure you catch that on Friday on Brainbuster. Remember, you're not going to catch it on this feed. You have to subscribe to Brainbuster Radio. They're on any platform that you want. So just make sure that you go and subscribe and you listen to us and you listen to all the great content that's coming out Brainbuster week. Of course, then NXT TakeOver recap show. We're going to be doing that. That'll hit your ears on Sunday. We can have a great time talking about NXT TakeOver New York. That is going to be one hell of a show. And then, of course, directly after WrestleMania, it's Kevin and I. We're going to be delusional as all hell after watching 14 hours of WrestleMania. We're going to be talking about WrestleMania for another couple of hours. We're going to go over our predictions and see if we're right. We're going to recap everything that happened. Whether it was good, bad, ugly, beautiful, we don't know. But we're going to sit here and we're committed to the cause. We're going to do our WrestleMania recap show. We got a lot to sink our teeth into this week. Kevin, you've also got your blogs this week as well.
Yep. Starting tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to getting back in the saddle. You will... Listen... You'll either love us or you'll be so sick of us by WrestleMania Day. But we're going to be around, don't worry. So you've got a lot to sink your teeth into. So whether you're driving along on a road trip and listening to us, whether you're doing some housework, it doesn't matter. Make sure you keep us in your ears this week. We've got a lot of content. Just excited for Brainbuster, excited for WrestleMania, NXT TakeOver New York, G1 Supercard, all of the WrestleMania events that are happening. I'm so jealous. I wish I was in the States right now so I could go to WrestleMania, to be honest with you. Yeah, I wish I was gone. Missed the opportunity for me, honestly. It's not that far.
I was going to say,
but I'm going to get
close.
this. I'm going to get this someday.
Every day I'm still thinking about whether I should start booking my trip for next year and head to WrestleMania next year. Knock it off my bucket list. It's getting to the point where I'm thinking about doing it.
Go for it. I say.
Yeah, but who knows? But that will do us for this episode of Reverb Rewind, Wrestling Reverb. Big stuff planned, and Kevin and I will catch you on Wednesday. So keep us in your ears. Peace out.